Hello, I'm Lauren Clark. Welcome. Today's class is intended to be sort of a restorative class that you can use to transition from your workday into your evening. So putting down your to-do list, putting down everything that you did earlier that day, and really moving into your evening in a relaxing and restorative manner. So let's get ready to unwind, and we will start laying on our backs. So feet planted on the earth, as wide as your mat. Knees are pointing up at the sky, and then let the knees knock in towards each other. You can bring your hands onto your belly as we get started here. And just feel your belly rise as you breathe in and fall as you exhale or breathe out. Inhaling through the nose. Exhale out through the nose. You did the hard part. One of the hard parts. Your body is here. Let's bring your mind here. Being present. And just sending your attention to your breath. Start to feel a sense of weightedness in the body. Maybe with each exhale, you notice your body just sinking into the floor a little bit more. Letting go of whatever has been on your plate today. Take one more breath here. And hug your knees in towards your chest. You can wrap your hands around the shins. Just give yourself a good little squeeze. And then start to rock up and down along the spine. Just giving your back a nice little massage. Maybe a couple of times, and then we will meet on our shins. So if you need to adjust to the middle of your mat, go ahead and do so. We're gonna put the tops of the feet down, coming onto the shins. Take a big breath here. Inhale. Exhale on a sigh. Then inhale to lift the hips up off the heels. Bring the hands to the low back. So head stacked over heart, heart over hips, hips over knees. Hands to the low back, fingers pointing down towards the earth. Tops of the feet are pressing into the earth. Press the hips forward and then draw the shoulders back. So elbows are drawing back behind you. Shoulder blades are drawing back and down together. And lifting up through the heart, gazes up towards the top corner of the room. You can imagine you have a string maybe on your sternum or somewhere in the middle of your chest. You're being pulled up. So instead of moving back into a back bend, we wanted this lifting, this opening through the collarbones, opening through the chest, and making sure that you are still connected to your breath. So if you find that you're holding your breath, come out of it just a little bit, even if it doesn't look like a back bend. We're not going for looks here. We are going for what our bodies need and want. Take a big breath into whatever you're feeling, into that opening in the front body. And exhale, release the hands. Send the hips back onto the heels. Reach the hands forward, coming into child's pose. So lowering the forehead all the way down onto the earth. Feeling the belly press into the thighs as you breathe in. And exhale, soften. This time, inhale, lift your gaze, lift your hands, lift your hips. All the way back up into our camel pose. Hands come to the low back, lift up through the heart. On your exhale, lowering back into child's pose, sending the hands forward, forehead down, belly resting on the thighs. Inhale, lift up, camel. Heart opens up. Exhale, child's pose. We're going to do that one more time. On your inhale, lifting up into camel. Exhale, child's pose. Let your body soften. Then lift your gaze. Lift the hips and tuck the toes. Then lift up into downward facing dog. First downward dog of the day, maybe, if you've been sitting a lot or walking or whatever you've been doing, it's nice to walk your dog out. So bending into one knee and then the other. Then come to stillness, so straightening out through both legs. You can keep a slight bend. And then walk the hands back towards the feet. So we're going to come into a forward fold at the back of the mat, letting your arms dangle down here. Let the crown of your head relax down towards the earth. Keep a slight or generous bend in the knees, whatever your body is asking for right now. Inhale, halfway lift, finding length in the back, all the way through the spine. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale to roll up through into Tadasana. Pausing here in this neutral position, ground down through all four corners of the feet, reach tall through the crown of the head. Thank yourself for showing up. And inhale, sweep the arms up overhead, palms to touch. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, walk the hands forward, coming back into downward facing dog. And in your downward facing dog, bend your knees generously, so much so that your belly is resting on your thighs. Keep pressing down through the hands, but let your heart melt down towards the earth. So feel an opening in the shoulders, grounding down through the index finger mounds and the thumb mounds. Straighten out through the legs. Inhale, send the gaze forward, and exhale to step to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing. Palms to touch. Exhale, Tadasana. Step your right foot towards the back of your mat. So coming into a wide-legged stance here. Toes can point out slightly. Keep a slight bend in both knees and really ground down through the outer edges of both feet. Bring the fingers to lace together. So you're going to clasp the hands behind your low back. And then draw the fingers down towards the earth, lifting up through the heart, imagining that same string, lifting our heart up instead of back. Lifting up, broadening through the collarbones, feeling the shoulder blades draw together. Staying connected to your breath. And exhale, fold forward, letting the arms come overhead, maybe down towards the earth. Remember to keep that bend in the knees. Let the crown of the head soften down. Send your breath to any tight muscles, any discomfort, and of course, backing out if you feel any pain. Release the palms down to the earth. Walk the hands towards the back of the mat, so towards the right foot. Turn the toes towards the back of the mat. Lower the left knee down. You can untuck the left toes here or keep them tucked, whatever your preference is. Inhale to reach the palms up overhead, or hands up overhead, palms to touch. Palms go with the fingers. Keep the right hip pulling back, left hip forward, lifting up. And then again, lace the fingertips together, the fingers together, and bring them to the base of the skull and kind of where the skull meets the neck. So your thumb can be resting in that spot between the skull and the neck. So drawing the elbows back, lifting up through the heart, This is more of a lifting up than a back bend. Again, if you find yourself disconnected from your breath, come out of this back bend, this opening. One more big breath here to whatever you're feeling. And release your hands, release them down onto the earth. Tuck your left toes, lift your left knee, and rotate onto the sole of the left foot. So toes are pointing now towards the left side of your mat. Bring your right hand to the inside of your right leg. Keep a slight bend in the right leg, but it's mostly straight. And then inhale to reach the left fingertips up towards the sky. Keep the belly button drawing in here. So we're still engaging the core just a bit and pressing down through both feet. So we're not just collapsing into this right hand. Feeling the stretch in the legs, maybe in the side bodies at all. And lower the left hand down, turn the right toes forward so we're facing back in our wide-legged forward fold. Toes can point out a little bit again, adjust your stance as needed, and then walk your hands forward. I like to come on to the fingertips in this posture just for a little bit more lifting. So I notice that helps me soften into my heart space through my shoulders a bit more than just planting the palms down on there. So give it a try. See what might work best, whether it's planting the palms, coming onto fingertips, or maybe hands on blocks might give you the most opening through the front body. And then wherever you land, check in with your breath. Just allowing yourself to be here. Let it feel good. Let it be slow. Maybe a big change of pace from your day. Or if you're not doing this in the evening, it might be a good way to set the pace for the day. Walk the hands back and then over towards the left foot. So turning the toes back towards the front of your mat, lowering the right knee down. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Then lace the hands. If you can switch the grip this time, so whichever is a little bit uncomfortable, bringing the hands to the base of the skull, top of the neck, lifting through the heart, elbows draw back, shoulder blades draw back together. Finding your balance here. If you need to walk your left foot out a little bit, make any adjustments that help you feel more stable in this posture. Opening up. And release the hands down. Tuck the right toes, lift the right knee. Straighten out through the left leg. Bring the left hand to the inside of the right foot. Reach the right hand up towards the sky. Refine that slight core engagement by drawing the belly button in towards the spine. Keep pressing down firmly through both feet, slight bend in both knees. When I say that engagement in the core, imagine, or even give it a try, that you were to lift your left hand off the mat. See if your torso would stay where it is. It doesn't have to be quite that engaged, but just feel into that. Gaze can be wherever is comfortable on your neck. All right, go ahead and lower the right hand down onto the mat. You can walk the left foot in, plant the left palm, slide the left foot back to meet the right, coming into plank pose. Big inhale here. Exhale to lower all the way down onto the earth. Untuck the toes. Press the hips down and bring the fingers to maybe just outside of the mat, coming onto the fingertips. And inhale to peel the head, shoulders, and chest off the mat cobra. Really pulling the fingers back towards the feet, drawing the heart forward. Exhale, release down onto your mat all the way. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, peeling up, pushing down through the fingertips and pulling them back, pulling the heart forward. Exhale, release. Keep pressing the hips down through this whole movement. Inhale, peeling up. Exhale, soften. Bring your elbows under your shoulders, so palms and forearms down on the earth. Coming into Sphinx pose. I'm going to back up onto my mat a little bit here. Feel that same pulling back of the elbows towards the feet so that you feel a broadening through the collarbones and your heart pulling through your forearms. And really grounding down through the hands, through the forearms. Tuck the toes. And big exhale will lift the hips up off the mat. So you come into a forearm plank first. Then walk the feet in. So lift, sending the hips up high, coming into dolphin pose. Doesn't matter how close to your arms your feet come. So just find whatever's comfortable in your body. This can be a big shoulder opener. It can be a little intense, so pause where you are. If you want to just stay in Sphinx, just stay in Sphinx. That's a great, great place to be. If you're here with me in Dolphin, take a couple breaths, really pressing the earth away. So you're pushing out of the shoulders, relaxing through the neck. One more breath. And then wherever you are, let's meet in child's pose. So lower the knees down. And send the arms back alongside the legs. So hands are reaching towards the feet. Give your shoulders a little break from all that overhead extension. Feel the belly pressing in and relaxing. And we'll come back onto our bellies. So get there however you would like. Lowering down. And extend the left arm out to the side. So palm comes flat down on the earth. Bend the right knee, right toes point up towards the sky. Tent the right fingertips. Then press into the right fingertips. And we're going to open up. So pressing or lifting the torso, the front of the body off of the mat, rolling onto the left shoulder. Bring the right toes behind you. I like to stay on the tippy toes. It just keeps a little bit more engagement, but you can certainly plant the whole sole of the foot if that feels better. This might be really intense in the left pec, in the shoulder. You can always back out of it, so lowering back towards the mat. Just finding a space that feels good. If you'd like a little bit more, you can reach the right hand back behind you. Maybe you find your left hand, and maybe they just kind of hang out in space. Don't force it, just let your body be where it is. Big belly breaths. And release, coming back down onto the earth. Move to the other side. So extend the right arm out, palm flat down. Might be out of shot. I'm going to bring my arm to a cactus. And tent the left fingertips, lift the left toes, rotate onto the right shoulder. Coming onto the left tippy toes. If your arm's straightened out here. Finding a spot that feels good, and of course, if you need more, you can bring the left fingers back towards the right hand. Maybe they touch, maybe they don't. Notice any differences in both sides. And differences aren't bad, they're just how our bodies are, and we're just getting to know them. And release, coming back onto your mat. Then roll over onto your backside. So again, however you want to get there, gracefully, awkwardly. I tend to be on the more awkward side. It's okay. Plant the soles of the feet, knees are pointing up towards the sky. Bring your hands on either side of your hips, palms pressing down. Ground down through all four corners of the feet, and inhale to lift the hips up off the mat, coming into bridge pose. Just really press the hips up high. Keep the thighs drawing in towards one another. Imagine if you had a block, you're squeezing the block. If you'd like to lace the fingers together underneath you and then walk the shoulders under your back, find a little bit more opening in that front body, more of a lifting. Again, never pushing your body further than you can while still breathing. You want to stay connected to your breath. Feel that heart opening up, shoulders opening. And on your next exhale, release back down onto the earth. Hug the knees in one more time. Wrap the hands around the shins. Give yourself a big squeeze. And then coming into our final resting pose, Shavasana. Extend the legs out. Hands are down at your sides. Let the feet relax out to the side. And I like to have my palms facing down for a more grounded feel. But if you want to have them facing up, that can be a little bit more uplifting, maybe slightly more energetic. Just feeling out what you need. And as we relax here in this resting posture, feel a softening in the body and that same weightedness that we experienced in the beginning of class. Like you're melting down into your mat. Each exhale brings a release. If you find your mind wandering, just come back to your breath. Let yourself be here for another minute or two. Gently start to wiggle your fingers and toes, bringing some movement back into the body. And then bend your knees, reach your arms up overhead, and roll onto one side, whichever side you find more comfortable. And then press up with eyes closed or soft gaze into a comfortable seated position. Hands resting on your thighs or in your lap, maybe one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart. And we will close out this class with one collective breath. So exhale fully out through the mouth. Inhale together through the nose. Exhale together on a sigh. Thank you for joining me today, for spending your evening or whatever hour you are spending with me at this time. Thank you.